Okay, so just imagine for a second you just loaded up a Minecraft Bedrock Edition speedrun world, and you spawn right next to a village at really good coordinates. Um, and you think, maybe this is a stronghold village. Lizard, which is another runner, got this, and, you know, they wanted to check if there's a stronghold below their village, and they started digging right by the well. And they dug and they dug and they dug, but it didn't seem like there was a stronghold.
Wait. No!
And not only was there a stronghold that they missed, there was a portal room, and it led straight to another fortress. Alright, so I'm going to be explaining the basic way that this works. Basically, the stronghold is always going to be, or is supposed to be, in the same chunk as the village route. And you can tell what the route is by looking at these structures that have bells on them. Most structures that have bells on them will be aligned to the stronghold. And basically, the problem is they can be rotated, but if you can figure out clues, you'll always be able to get to the same corner, since they're always rotated around the same corner. And then from there, you could just, for right here I'm using a pumpkin, but you can just go up with chords 1, 2, 3, 4, and that takes you to the stronghold coordinates. So basically, you find the well, you go to the correct corner, which should be the same for every rotation, and then you just go to the stronghold, which will be relative to that corner. Alright, so remember how I said most of the bell structures coordinate to a stronghold? Well, this is the one that doesn't, and it is for the Plains Village, and it has two tents made out of wool. So if you see two tents, this one is actually weird. It just doesn't coordinate to a stronghold, so keep that in mind. Alright, so one thing I did want to mention before I start is that I only have plains, desert, and taiga villages in this because the other villages are symmetrical wells, and so there's literally no way to find the correct corner. So you might as well just do the regular strategy with those. Well, I'm just going to show real quick. I've never tried doing this in this seed. All I know is that there's a stronghold underneath this village. And I bet you I'm going to dig into the starter staircase of the stronghold right next to the center. And the way I'm going to do that is this is a square plains well. So what I do is I have the side with the bell, and then looking away from the well, I'm going to go to this right side corner, and then I go 1, 2, 3 blocks right, 1, 2 blocks forward. That's where I go from, and then let me just 1, 2, 3, 4. And I bet you right here, I've never tried this seed before, but I bet you right here, I will be right next to the starter staircase, or in it, right next to the center. You see? That is literally right next to the center of the starter staircase. It's just really cool, and I'll be showing you how to do this on every seed, and you're never going to miss the stronghold again. Alright, so I just showed you the plain square well. Well, for the plain circle well, the concept is exactly the same. And keep in mind, the steps you do at the end, the 4 blocks you go, won't be exactly relative to what I do every time, because, the well's rotation changes things. But this circle well is the same concept. Side with the bell on it, and then right-hand corner. Then you go 1, 2, 3 blocks right, 1, 2 blocks forward. Then from there you go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks diagonally. And again, I've never tried the seed, but I should dig right next to the center of the starter staircase. So let's just see really quickly what we get here. And sure enough, there it is, right next to the center of the starter staircase. So that's really cool. Okay, now I like to call the next group of bell structures flats, because they don't have water, and I can't call them wells, and they're pretty flat. So this is the tree flat, and basically for this one, you're just going to check which side of the tree has cobblestone directly next to it. So this side has a path block, this side has a path block, this also has a path block, and this is the cobblestone side. So from there, facing away from the tree, you're going to go towards the cobblestone or mossy cobblestone block next to it. And then, from there, that's where you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You should be on a path block. From there, the pumpkin, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it looks like it's already exposed a little bit, but right here, you should be digging, again, right next to the center of the starter staircase. So that's how you do the tree. Okay, so this is the last Plains Village variant, and this is the triple tent. Now, there's actually a smaller version of this, but it works the same way. And do not confuse this with double tent. This one can have a stronghold underneath. Now, for this one, you're just going to find this tent that is not facing the same direction as the other two. From inside that, you're going to look towards the others, and the tent on the right, behind that farthest fence, so right here, behind the farthest fence, is where you do the calculation from. So again, from the one that's not oriented the same, and then you go behind the fence of the one on the right. And from there, that's where you do the calculation. So 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks up. And right here should be right, yep, there it is. So that is cool. Oh yeah, and I'm not going to be digging for this one, but this actually works with one of the 4 types of savanna villages, and this is the only type that works, and this also has a triple tent. So again, you're just going to look from the side that, is not the same, and then you go behind the fence of this last one, so right about here, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is where your stronghold is going to be. So that is cool. Now on to desert villages. Well, desert villages only have half the possibilities as a plains village, and it has slightly different, directions and corners, but the concept is the same. So this is the desert square well. You're going to, again, the side with the bell, but this time you go to the left corner, and then you go left 3 blocks, and then forward 2. So instead of, it's basically just mirrored across that axis, and then from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this should be where you dig. Alright, so this is the well that was in the intro, and this is probably the most misleading well, because guess what the odds are of digging into the starter staircase if you dig right here? No matter what the rotation is, you're never going to dig into the starter staircase right next to the bell. And I don't know why, but it is very interesting. So, this is basically just an amplified version of the plain circle well. So again, you're looking towards the side with the bell. Corner on the right, easy enough. 1, 2, 3 to the right, but this time instead of going 2 forward, you go 10 forward. So here I'll just use my coordinates, it'll be easier. So I'll just be going there. And that is where I do it. So 3 to the right, 10 forward. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is where I would be digging. And the final desert village is the desert flat, which is pretty rare, but it's good if you know how to do it, and it's really not that hard. So basically, you just align yourself so that this 3-block tall pillar is on your left, and the well is on your right. You go through there, and then 2 blocks after the pillar, that is where you calculate from. So that is really not that hard to do. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is where I would be digging in this situation. And finally, we've got the taika, which only has 2 different variants of wells, and the square well is exactly the same as the desert square well. Again, we have the side, and this time it's the left corner, and that would actually be this block with the fence on it. From there, it is just 1, 2, 3 to the left, 1, 2 forward, and then from there, in this case, it goes back into the well, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is where we would want to be digging. So that is how you do the square taika well, and it is easy enough. Alright, so this is the final well, and I just wanted to explain how it works. So basically, there's just a bell. It's for the taika, and there is just a bell and nothing else. Now it might look like, how are you going to do this? Again, this one, do not dig next to the bell because you have no chance. But what you want to do is there should be one side with tons of flat land open. From standing on the bell, you're going to do just what you did in the desert circle. 1, 2, 3 blocks to the right, and then 1, to all the way 10 blocks forward, and then from right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just to end it off, I'm just going to prove again that this strategy is 100% working. And thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you out in your RSG runs or whatever you're using it for. I hope it proves helpful. And, this was a low-quality video, but I do want to thank a few people for helping. crackedmagnet, Danny15, crazefeed, and hashbrown18. They all helped, so thanks to them. And yeah, so you're not going to miss your stronghold again. It would be nice if you liked and subscribed. So, well, that is the end of the video. Bye.